It just works the way I expected it to.
Yeah, and if I like get up, I'm just turning my fan off, but I can still hear you.
Okay. There we go. It's live there now. Um, hey chat. Nice to see you, Zach and Ryan.
My is it okay? There we go.
Before before I hit the live button, guys, we were just talking about flights. I want to know, like, is flying just shitty for everybody, even if you're in a major hub? Like, even if you're in Chicago, let's actually look at that. Because like Chicago, isn't Chicago kind of like the supposed to be the best
That's another big connector.
Chicago
I feel
hair?
like in the U.S. it's like Chicago, Denver, Dallas, and like Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. This map is insane compared to mine. Where's mine? Yeah, this is my direct flights from Kelowna. I always wonder
I
about
like
that.
2 years
Like,
ago I went to Montreal for a big Snow Tiny Conf, and
yeah,
and it was like the toss up between do I drive 8 hours to get there from my house
yeah,
or do I fly? And I made the terrible decision to fly. So I had to like drive 2 hours from my house in Connecticut to Newark, New Jersey. I
mm,
flew from there to DC, and then
yeah,
and then DC to Montreal. I don't know what I was thinking, but I
yeah.
definitely should have just drove it. Yeah.
I you know what's kind of in my head about this is like every time I fly, I wonder, oh, if I was in a bigger city, would this be easier? And then what would I be giving up for that? You know, like if I lived
Yeah,
in
I used to
Chicago,
live within. I used to live very close to both New York City airports. Um, that the trade off was like I could fly anywhere I ever want to, usually a direct flight,
yeah,
but it's like super expensive and super crowded to live there, and you know
that,
can't own a car because you'll just hit traffic everywhere you go. So then I moved up here to Connecticut, where I'm about an hour from Hartford Airport and like an hour and a half from New York LaGuardia.
yeah,
Um, Most of the time I fly out of Hartford, and it's just like it's great because we can drive anywhere we want. It was a wide open space, so much more room, a lot more property for the money and all that.
yeah,
But yeah, everywhere I'm going, I'm connecting flights because I'm flying out of Hartford, Connecticut.
yeah. How Levi Allen is in the chat. Hey, Levi, how long? How long of a drive for you to get to YVR? That's Vancouver. That's the thing is that it takes me 30 minutes to get to the airport right now. So it's
Oh,
crappy
that's
because
nice.
I off.
I'm like a good hour, which sucks. So like I usually do a really early flight, and I'll often just get a hotel the night before, like at the airport.
This is the thing is like these are the calculus that are interesting with travel because it's like, okay, so I could move to Vancouver, and then actually let's even go Google flights. Sorry, folks, this is the most boring intro ever.
We, I feel like we have a tendency to start these podcasts with the most boring stuff.
Well, but this is the real stuff, man. This is,
These are
Justin
the
needs to get
issues.
to
These are the
Justin
real
needs to get to
issues we're
Dallas. I
dealing with.
want to know if it's actually better. So when am I? I'm going like around. I can't remember. I'm going around here, coming back here. Let's just see what if the flights
Now,
are better.
are you like an airline person? Are you maximizing points and stuff?
Yeah. So typically, I mean, generally, I'll fly whatever is best, like whatever is the most convenient. But I try to fly Air Canada or WestJet most of the time.
So I used to do that, and I used to just use Chase points for everything. Maybe 2 3 years ago I switched to United, like United credit cards for the family, United cards for
Mm-hmm.
my business.
Yeah, I think you
We're in
inspired me to
United's
do the
world,
same.
and I mean like most flights I'm doing first class now just on points alone,
Uh,
just from like normal monthly spending. It's
yeah,
great, and like Hartford is a big United hub, so like I'm always 99% I'm flying United, and usually free or close to it tickets,
yeah.
and usually first class.
And
it's like just normal spending through the business.
Oh, you're just using points for first, like, business class most of the time?
Yeah, just because normal monthly spending through the business and through the family all pooled together into United points.
Yeah, that's nice. When you fly with the kids, do they fly business too?
Usually when it's all four of us, we'll do like economy plus or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know this is boring people, but listen to this is my dilemma. So even from Vancouver, you got Alaskan, but there's one stop and it's overnight. I don't like overnight flights, especially when I'm still in North America. I would probably, looks like the best one, 12:10 p.m., 9:34 p.m. Otherwise, I could get a direct flight nonstop, but at 11:55 p.m. and landing at 6 a.m., no thank you. And then the only other nonstop, 6 a.m. to 12:05 p.m. on American. That's still too early. Like, then you got to, if it's Vancouver, let's see, what did Levi say? It takes him 1:15 to get there. But you got to be there at least 2 hours before the flight, right? 4 a.m. So you're leaving at 3 a.m. Oh.
You know which site? I don't think it's around anymore. I used to use Hipmunk. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was my favorite site.
There's still ones that let you do stuff like that. Like, I mean, AI is potentially a good solution here too, but it's like...
The other thing, I just don't relate to anyone who does this, whether it's with an AI or a human assistant, where they're just like delegating to somebody else to like make all their travel plans for them.
Yeah.
I will never understand those people. Like,
I've started experimenting with this.
I'm not so busy, and I'm not flying every single week where I just can't deal with like picking my own flights.
I have somebody who's been helping me out with admin once a week, and I said, I always heard people have them help book flights, and I tried it, and she was actually pretty good because I just gave her like, I don't like early morning flights. I like direct whenever I can, least amount of stops, and preferably on these airlines. And then
I can see how that could work. I could also see like the case for like a really good vacation travel planner, because that is like a lot of work, especially when I'm doing it with the family and we have multiple stops on a vacation, like getting all the hotels right and the transfers and the flights. Like, that's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
I still haven't delegated that. I still sort of want to make sure that I'm booking things that are just not going to suck.
Yeah, it's so hard to book something that doesn't suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're in Chicago, see, Dallas, I think, is just a shitty place to go. Because 2 hours and 2 hours and 40 minutes. But look at these flights. 5:20 a.m. No way. 7 a.m.
And then you get off the flight and it's 101 degrees out there. It'll be great.
Like a 7 a.m. flight. And what did Zach say? It takes him 40 minutes to get. And what do you got? You got to be there an hour ahead of time domestic or 2 hours?
I don't know. I usually go like an hour 20, hour 15 before.
Okay, so
and I use like TSA. I go pretty fast through the line.
So if you're leaving at 7 a.m. though, you gotta leave. Zach would have to leave at probably 5 a.m. Every time I have to wake up early, it just really sucks for the trip. I'm setting my alarm. I'm like setting multiple alarms. All
right. Let's stop talking about airlines. I think we've lost like our entire listenership.
No, people are into it. They're chatting away here. All right, let me do my intro. Welcome to the panel, where two bootstrap founders talk about building a business.
Talk about choosing an airline flight.
Do we talk about? I say talk about? Discuss?
I don't even know.
I don't even know. It doesn't matter. Welcome to the panel, where two bootstrap founders discuss building a better business and a better life. I'm Justin Jackson, the co-founder of Transistor.fm.
I'm Brian Casel. I'm building Builder Methods.
And once again, we are recording live, and we've got some great folks in the chat already. Shout out to Zach, Ryan, Levi. Nice to see y'all in the chat.
What's up, folks?
And I think we got some good topics. Where do we want to start today?
What do you got? I feel like we always kind of veer into my stuff pretty quickly, but let's start with your end of the thing.
So one thing I've been exploring is I had this post on Blue Sky where I said I gave an example of a bad experience with an AI chatbot, and I said this is why we don't use AI chat on Transistor.
I saw you mention that in the Slack. So what was the product? What was the question? What was your experience? For those like listening who maybe can't even see the screen right now.
Yeah, so we used Crisp chat for all of our customer support. And I asked the folks at Crisp, is there an AI plugin that lets me query all of our customer conversations in order to get customer insights? For example, what adjectives do people use to describe Transistor when they sign up most often? So I'm looking for, like, I've got this whole trove of interesting customer information in live chat, and I'm like, I want to use AI to like bring up interesting, what are the questions that people ask when they sign up? How do people describe Transistor when they sign up? Why are they here? Those kinds of things. Mm-hmm. So that's what I was looking for. And then their AI chatbot, confidently said, yes, we offer AI-powered tools that can help you analyze customer conversations and gain insights, specifically the AI Data Hub. And here are some examples. And I was like, okay. And then before to their credit, very quickly, a human operator jumped in maybe 5 minutes after this and said, please disregard the AI's answer. At the moment, we don't have this feature.
Uh-huh. And did they do that proactively, or did you say like human, like talk to a human?
No, they did that proactively. So somehow, they're keeping an eye on this, this stuff. But so this fits perfectly within my narrative. Transistor, we just released this new feature page that is all about customer service and kind of loudly proclaiming that we are, all of our support is done by real humans that care.
Yep.
But
I'm kind of torn on this on a couple different levels. One thing, just an observation of like, first of all, I'm definitely seeing a lot more of it across all SaaS tools, especially the big ones that obviously have a lot of volume to deal with in their support inboxes. Like, I definitely understand the case for it at the large, like the large scale SaaS level, where they have just so much volume. They have to use that at this point.
Yes.
Yeah, well, okay, that could be arguable, right? But so one thing that I don't like is when they just give them like a human name when it's clearly a bot.
Yeah.
And like, they might have a little icon that makes it indicate that it's a bot, but they're just like, hey, it's Sam, your support agent. Like, wait a minute, are you real? Or, I don't like that. Just be totally upfront that it is because the other thing that I'm noticing is that they are getting better. They're not great, but they're getting better. So I sent a question to Cursor support a couple weeks ago about something. And that response came back to me via email. So it wasn't live chat, but it was an AI generated response. And it was not clear to me that it was AI. And like, I mean, like, they didn't even tell me that, like, they were just like, it's from Sam, the support agent.
Yeah.
And it actually, and I guess you could say like it was like so good that like by the second or third email, that's when I realized it was AI. I probably should have realized sooner, but part of what made me realize it was that it gave me the wrong answer. So, there was that. But
so what challenged? So obviously, my preference is human powered support. I think customer support is the most underrated feature of most products. It serves so many purposes. It's your sales team, it's your onboarding team, it's your PR, they are internal sales, right? So they're taking people that are already there on the website and they are helping get them signed up and using the product. And I still believe that, but I also want to be challenging my own beliefs. And Jesse at Bento Now,
Yeah, I saw his response.
he said, well, and I didn't realize he's a one-person team.
Yeah,
That is
I've always been I've
wild.
sort of followed his stuff with Bento from afar. I've never really used it, but I've always been impressed with his efficiency and how much he's shipping and
I
his
mean, look at
responsiveness
everything
to
he
everything.
built.
Yeah,
Email marketing, messaging, marketing automation, CRM, sales, email delivery. Like email is tough. He's competing with
yeah.
ConvertKit and everything else. So he said his was good, and I do like how he's done it. So right away, you can see these avatars here he has multiple AI agents. So I'm going to ask a question. So Bento chat. So let me say, can I use Bento for transactional email?
Yeah,
Does
and
it
that's like a straightforward question that it should be able to handle.
work well with the Rails app? Let's see how it does here.
Like try to give it like a curveball, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I try to have as much human stuff as I can. So here's what I like about it. He identifies that this is an AI support agent. So this is Tanuki, the general support AI agent. And it was fast. And yes, you can use Bento for transactional email. It works really well with Ruby on Rails. We offer a native Ruby gem that makes it easy to send both marketing and transactional emails directly from your Rails application. And then they have these links to their documentation. And so what Jesse has said is that a lot of this, your implementation of this depends on the quality of your knowledge base and experimenting. So he's experimenting with multiple AI agents in tandem and just tweaking them and testing them with different characteristics to see how they respond. Like one agent is better for product related queries. Another one's better for technical related queries. So I thought this was interesting just to challenge my own kind of ideological beliefs and to test something like this out. There was a few things where it was like, okay, it wasn't like as good as a human, I think, but and he also has it so that if you type human, you can talk to a human right away. I don't know if that's like becoming more common. Like people just expect to be able to type human and talk to is that like a normal keyword for that stuff?
I mean, that just seems like an age-old thing from like calling up customer support lines over the phone. You know, just say like human, like get me to a person. This is ridiculous, you know. But I think that number one, AI tools and models in general are getting better. But I do think that when it comes to customer support chatbots, my guess or my assumption is that it's as good as you program it to be. Mm-hmm. And I feel like if you use any of these like totally vanilla, like out of the box AI features that come with the help desk software, and I haven't done a lot of testing with them, to be honest, but my guess is if you just try to like turn that feature on and let it go wild, it's gonna create a bad experience for your customers. It's just not gonna get it right. So and like I have been thinking about this a lot for the Clarity Flow customer support inbox.
Yeah.
And I haven't done anything about it yet. I just haven't had the bandwidth, but it is one of those tools that's sort of like in a queue of products that I want to build just for myself. It's probably like 3 or 4 down the line, but like I definitely feel the pain. See, like I feel like I'm in a unique situation with Clarity Flow because I completely agree with you that it is definitely the bootstrapper's advantage for the founder or one person on their very small team to be personally in touch with customers. I've seen firsthand so much benefit both on the sales side, the customer development side, and just keeping paying customers happy, like having best in class, like super responsive, super helpful support from humans is that's something that the big competitors cannot do.
Yes. Yeah.
So we need to use that to our advantage. Now, for me, as everyone who follows these stories knows, like Clarity Flow for me is in a mode where I want it to be as automated and hands off for myself as possible. But I'm still offering that human support, which is mostly me, sometimes with the help of my developer. Um, we're still offering like really great support, which means it's like time consuming support for us.
Yeah.
And so my thought is, because again, like right now for me, like the value of continuing to hold Clarity Flow and you know, sort of give it what it needs to like maintain its and do its thing. Like I do want to try to find ways to automate and offload at least the tier 1 level support.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like theoretically I should be able to, and like we use Help Scout and I know that they offer some level of AI features which we haven't turned on yet. But my guess is like they're probably not great. And also we have a really good knowledge base, like a lot, like 100+ articles that explain a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not through Help Scout. We actually host our own on our website. So my thought theoretically is to, at some point in the near future, build some sort of custom tool that will be fully trained on our knowledge base and be trained on the multiple years of emails in our Help Scout inbox.
Yeah.
And how things have been answered. And I think those two things alone should give it a really good context. And then I would have a system to like program in just like hard rules. Like if someone asks about this or mentions this keyword, we're saying this and we're not saying that, right? And that would just be like a growing thing over time. And then I'm thinking through it like, there should be a system for me to, well, like there's also different levels, right? Like you could have an AI just draft your answer and not actually send it, and that could save a lot of time.
Yeah.
Right. And that could be a like an interface where it's like customer sends in a question, AI drafts the complete answer, sends it to me, and all I need to do is click a thumbs up and it just sends. Or like a thumbs down and I fix something, and then maybe that fix gets baked into the training so that next time it knows. You know, I feel like all this kind of like logic needs to be worked out. But I have an idea in my head for like how you can, and I'm sure Jesse has thought through this sort of thing with Bento, right? Like, and I could just see from my day-to-day support load where it's like, okay, like 30% of the time somebody is reporting a bug in the software. And so in that case, it needs to tag my developer who then replicates and fixes the bug, right?
Yeah.
In other cases, it's a feature request. Like they're not asking for how to use something. They're like, they wish it would work in a certain way. We should tag that and respond to it in a certain way and maybe file it in linear. You know, and then there's a whole lot of questions that are just like, how do I use this feature? Or for us, we have a lot of like, how do I build the thing that I'm trying to build? I know Clarity Flow can do it. I just don't know how to use put all the features together. Those are the most time consuming support requests for us because we're essentially acting as like consultants for our customers, and it's hard. Like I haven't figured out a way. Like we've tried offering paid support tiers, which we've sold some of those, and some customers are willing to pay. But even then, it's like I don't even want to deliver that service, you know, even if they're paying for it.
I mean, I think Jesse has done a really good job of thinking this through. I like how I opened up a new window. One thing is that it's very context aware. So if you're in a certain context and then you ask it a completely different question, it doesn't do as well. But right now, like this one here, I asked it a brand new question, which was, due to recent federal ADA regulations, we are conducting an ADA compliance review for all web-based platforms. Could you please confirm whether your product is WCAG compliant? And so that to me is like, okay, this question is going to gonna mess up the AI. And it says, I want to make sure you have the most accurate, up-to-date information regarding Bento's ADA compliance. Currently, our documentation doesn't mention this. So would you like me to connect you with our compliance and security team for a more detailed response? So to me, that's kind of the ideal interaction. It's like, we don't have that. They are linking to their SOC 2 compliance thing, article, but asking, hey, do you want me to connect you with a customer, a real human? In this case, that seems like kind of the ideal interaction. The one thing that worries me is just even like having AI draft your responses. I think the danger there is what makes great customer service great is when it's human, where it doesn't sound like a generalized corporate speak.
Yeah.
And
there is something about like the instant AI written response that makes me just not even want to read it, even if it's totally accurate. I just don't want to read it, right?
Yeah.
Like, and actually, the other thing my approach to doing customer support on Clarity Flow now, because like I'm consciously trying to minimize the number of minutes that I spend on a ticket without offering terrible support. Almost every support doc in our knowledge base has a video recorded, usually by me.
Yeah.
So our docs, they do have the text, but they're very video centric. So many of my responses to customers, instead of like me like totally consulting with them and like giving them a whole game plan, like custom built just for you, I say like, hey, here's the link to our Clarity Flow Commerce guide. It's got a 10-minute video that you can watch and learn everything you need to know about how this feature works. And that should give you the roadmap to build what you want to build, you know?
Yeah.
And like so many of my answers are just like, you asked about Clarity Flow Commerce, here's the link to our video on that. You asked about our appointment setting, here's the link to our video on that. And so then when they watch it, they're still getting my voice walking them through how to use the software. So theoretically, an AI bot should be able to point people to a human recorded video. Like the bot doesn't have to draft an answer, but if they're asking about this thing, it's like, you know what you asked about is definitely in this video. Go watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to keep thinking about all this. I think it's a good practice in general to kind of challenge even these things that I believe that are part of my value system that I believe strongly. I appreciated, in this case, Jesse at Bento said, hey, I think I've got a pretty good one and I think you should check it out. And it was enough for me to go, yeah, that I should think again about this because maybe there is a use case for this, right? Like maybe our customer success people could rely on this more often and then invest even more in personalized Zoom demos, invest even more in having, recording personalized videos for high value customers.
Right. So that the AI should be able to filter those, right? Like tier 1, it should be able to handle those. And then like it should instantly recognize when something is a tier 2 or if it's a high value customer, something like that. Like the AI should route that to your people, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And also I think that like the low hanging fruit or the way to step into it would be to not have the AI be customer facing, but just use it to like draft answers. And that right there probably like removes so many minutes off of the support reps
for training. Yeah. This would be a great tutorial project, I think. Like build an AI support agent that works in Rails is because I believe that Jesse's is custom. And I think you're right. I think for this to be...
From what I understand with Jesse's, it's his customers are using Bento for customer support.
Yes, because he offers this
like
as
they
a
offer
product.
it as a feature for Bento customers to use, I believe.
Yeah.
If I understand that correctly.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. Anyway, that's what I got. What about you on your side? What do you want to chat about?
Let's see. So, I'm focused on builder methods. I've been on a string of pretty good YouTube videos that have done really well, and then my most recent one was a flop.
Okay.
So that's kind of fun.
Let's talk about it.
All right. So like again, if you look at my channel, the last like 5 videos, I think, five, I think have been all focused on this direction of building with AI. Like clearly, I pivoted about 5 videos ago.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then this most recent one, which is called Cursor Keyboard Shortcuts for Power Users.
Yep.
That's the one that I published 3 or 4 days ago.
Yep.
What is it, up to like 450 views or something like
Yep. Yep.
that? So, that is, YouTube, I really like YouTube's analytics. It tells you, it gives you a ranking, like a top 10 ranking for every video to see how this video is performing against your most popular videos ever.
Mm-hmm.
So you could see like at 12 hours after the publish time, your video is on pace to be doing better than even your best video, or second best or third best, right?
Yes.
And this one, like for most of its lifetime, was in like 4th or 5th place.
Yeah, like people said apparently it's like that there's that one, where is it? You get that one analytics where it's like this video is performing, way better in the first hour than your last video or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, I use it on the mobile app. There's a YouTube Studio mobile app for the creators to check their stats.
Yeah.
So that's usually what I'm looking at. But so this one, okay, so like what happened was, like, even when I was creating it, I knew that there's a good chance that this one won't do as well as the other ones. And there's a few reasons for that. Number one is, like, Claude Code is so popular right now, and my last 2 videos were about Claude Code, and they did really well. This one I chose to do about Cursor. I still use Cursor every single day with Claude Code, but so, Cursor itself has sort of cooled off in terms of a topic for content. There's that, but the other thing is that, like, it's just about keyboard shortcuts. It's about my workflows, and I think there's some pretty good like hacks and stuff that I share that are kind of unique, but it's not like a burning problem. That people are talking about, that people are going to really resonate with like right away. One thing that I hope for that video is that, like, this one might do fairly well with search, like people searching for Cursor keyboard shortcuts might find this over time. But the other thing that happened was, like, last week when I recorded it, I knew that I'm working on this new thing called Agent OS, which I'm in the process of launching, like, right now.
Okay. Can I show a screenshot of that, or is that still under wraps?
Yeah,
okay.
You could show it at it is now live at buildermethods.com/agentos. I can get more into what that is in a minute, but just from the YouTube channel standpoint, last week I wasn't ready to release a big video about Agent OS. It was still in the works. So I was like, all right, I know that I'm at least 2 weeks out from having something ready for that. So I need another video to do in the meantime. And I need it to be like quick and easy for me to record.
Yeah.
And I was like something that doesn't require me to like create a whole complex demo and write a big script. So I was like, all right, Cursor keyboard shortcuts. I could prepare that in a couple hours, and that's what I did. So I sort of knew that it was going to be like below average video, but I mean, it's okay.
On the other hand, you never know. This is the thing is, I've had so many times where I've worked for days on a blog post, for example, and I'm like, this is going to be it. This one's going to be insane. It's going to do really well. And then I release it. It doesn't do well. And then sometimes I'll just write down a random thought and publish it in 5 minutes. And that one does really well.
Just blows up. Yeah.
So you can know some of it ahead of time, but I think... did you feel quite let down? Like, did you feel disappointed, or?
It's weird. It's like, again, like I knew going into it, like once I hit publish, I wasn't very confident that this, like, I definitely wasn't thinking like, oh, this is going to be a banger, So it's like, I was like bracing for the fact that this was going to be a low performing video. And then it was a low performing video. And I just felt like shit about it, like it's just like, it still burns. And then the irrational waterfall of thoughts. Like, oh, this is it. I like the first few videos were a fluke. Like this whole business is not going to work. Like this YouTube channel is never going to take off. Like it's doomed forever. Like, which of course I know is all nonsense. But
Yeah. This
yeah.
is, I mean, this is the hard thing about all of these platforms, I think, is, why did I do well? And then how come this one didn't do well? And
Yeah.
it can feel, it can feel emotional is a good word for it.
The one that I'm writing today, which I hope to record tomorrow and hope to release next week, which will be about Agent OS, or really it's about this concept that I'm thinking a lot about called spec driven development. I think that's going to be like a new term or something like it.
Okay.
I think it's a big concept. I think it's pretty interesting and exciting and different and unique. And I'm presenting this new free open source thing that I created called Agent OS. So I'm feeling I don't know how this one is going to play when I release it. It also might flop because it's so different. But this one that I'm writing feels like I have something to say.
Yeah.
Like I have something that I feel is pretty important to say on this one. Whereas clearly that one I was just like, what can I record so that I publish something this week, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think there is a danger in hopping on a trend or a wave. Is the danger in that is you just don't know how long the wave's going to last and whether you go, and then it increases competition for that wave. And, there are some valid questions around that, but I think clearly right now, like in software development, we're going to be grappling with how do we do this for many years. Like the big companies haven't even really dipped their toe in. I know at some companies like Spotify, they're pushing it AI development quite heavily. But there's older companies that are still.
Yeah, there's older companies. I think, but definitely I feel like all professional software developers are absolutely aware of it and they're all moving to using Cursor or Claude Code. There are some that are holding out, I guess, for whatever reason, but it's and even if you're just still using like VS Code, then you're probably using Copilot with it,
Yeah. How important is it for you to publish every week? Like, did you think about just not publishing at all, or?
I thought about it, and I've gone some weeks without publishing just because I couldn't fit it in. It is very difficult, and that's another big thing that I'm working on right now is like, how can I make my production process, especially the editing process, faster? How can I think I'm getting better with every video. I'm gaining little bits of efficiencies. Like I'm creating a bank of B-roll that I can use again, and I'm getting faster with the editing tools. But still, it takes me. Right now it looks like to make a really good video, it takes me at least a full day just to write the script and get the concept and get the pacing and get the message right. That's a whole day of just writing.
Yeah.
And that's literally what I'm working on today. And then tomorrow, if I finish the script today, then tomorrow morning, I'll spend the first half of the day recording it, like probably the whole morning until lunch. And then I'll start editing it. But lately I've been editing like through the weekend, and then to maybe publish it on Monday or Tuesday of next week.
Yeah. I mean, considering it's so much work, maybe it's last week we talked about this, like having alignment between what your audience wants and then what you're interested in, passionate about, curious about. And sometimes when it's like, it's like, I'm just kind of interested in this and my audience is just kind of interested in this. Maybe it's just not worth doing a video on that stuff.
But I think that I'm going to figure things out on the efficiency side. At least I just assume that I will over time. It might take me a while, but I'll figure that part out. I'm more interested in like the strategy for the
Yeah.
business and the business model, right? And
Yeah.
that's something that I'm starting to think about. Um, it's an interesting thing because it's like being the creator and creating stuff on YouTube is such a crucial part of this business. Like no matter
Yeah.
what the products end up being, like I'm gonna have to really embrace this role of like I create content on YouTube. That's
Mm-hmm.
primarily what I'm doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean for the business model, right? And you pointed me to this interview with Colin and Samir, who are these big
Oh.
YouTube growth influencers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, they
That
make
was
really
such a
good.
good. That was Jay Klaus on Jay Klaus's Creator Science podcast.
Yeah, yeah. And I've been aware of those guys, but I haven't really followed them too much. And now I started getting into them more. So I follow them, and I listened to that interview, and it just started getting the wheels turning a little bit. And then I'm thinking about like this week with the cursor video that didn't do well, and I'm feeling the pressure of wanting to create really, really good thought provoking content that actually solves problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I am getting inbound requests for sponsorships on the channel now, like pretty regularly,
Oh yeah,
right?
they talk about sponsorships in that interview quite a bit. Like that's one of the
And and so like
things that gets brought up.
yeah, like for most YouTubers, like most people who consider themselves like a creator, I think for most people they are thinking in terms of like I want a big channel so that I can make money with sponsorships. And
Mm-hmm.
then there's a slightly smaller group who maybe think more like I'm thinking, which is like I want to grow the audience so that I can sell products,
Mm-hmm.
right? And my assumption always has since the beginning has been like grow the channel, grow the distribution so that that audience can get into my email list and then I can sell products to them, maybe courses and training and other products that they can buy. Like that's the way, that's the path to a big business. And I think that's probably still true for me.
Mm-hmm.
And sponsorships, so YouTube AdSense, I'm just never interested in that. Like I could turn it on now, I just haven't yet.
Well,
Um,
in the interview, Colin and Smear say they've always treated that, they've never budgeted based on that number. So
the
they got
YouTube
their,
ad.
that's right. They got their
Yeah.
first YouTube check for $500. They just said, that's always gravy. That's always,
just funny. That's just bonus. Yeah.
that's just bonus.
But the
they,
real money in sponsorships is like brands coming
yeah,
to you and you have a private deal where in the middle of your video you spend 20 seconds talking about their product, right?
yes,
And you can once you have a significant audience, you can charge thousands for that per video.
yes,
I have those companies. Some of them are like pretty well known companies, like in my inbox already.
mm-hmm.
Even at my low level right now.
Yeah.
And I haven't started doing those. My assumption has always been that at some point I will,
Yep.
but that won't be the primary business model. That'll either just be a bridge between here and the ultimate business model for builder methods, or it might just be a secondary revenue stream. The first one being a products line.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also just trying to open sometimes I just like to ask the question, like, not that I actually agree with this, but like, what if the whole business actually was sponsorships?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I like this, challenging your deep.
Yeah.
This is the
challenging your thinking, right?
Yeah.
Because I've always been a person who's just not very interested in a sponsorship driven business. Like that's just never really been interesting to me. But if I think about it, there could actually be some unique benefits to that approach in this particular space. Like, because if I go with my first assumption that like the whole business is going to be built on a few big courses and maybe one flagship course, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then that means most of my videos or a lot of my videos have to point people to buy those courses.
Yeah.
They don't have to be like super self-promotional, but they have to be on top. So if I will likely create a Claude Code course in the very near future. That's probably going to be the first course that I create. which means a lot of my content has to be about Claude Code, has to be maybe beginner level that leads people into Claude Code. You know, and I could veer off that a little bit, but at the end of the day, if I want to sell courses, I got to be pointing people to that.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll have another cursor course. Maybe I'll have a different course about this or that. And that could get tiring from a creative standpoint. Right.
Yeah.
There's also the thing where it's like, you know, the tension between like, okay, I want people to find value and pay for the course. So maybe I don't want to give away all the goods in the free YouTube content. Right. So there's always that sort of tension. I know that you can make the argument, like just give away, just be as valuable as possible. They'll still want to come for the paid stuff. But
yeah,
you know, there is some tension there. There's also this weird tension that I've felt in the past when I sold like the productized course, where it was like, if I'm selling a course on this concept, then I own that concept, or I own that insight, or that way of teaching things. So I always have to preach my way of doing things, because that's what I'm selling in my course, right? Like if your whole business model is built on selling courses, then that sort of points everything you do in that direction.
Yes.
And that can feel, I think in those ways, it could end up feeling kind of limiting.
I mean, there are people, I mean, Aaron Francis, I think is wrestling with this right now. And I think he's come up with a combination of, he's going to do, the nice thing about you and Aaron, and Wes Boss comes to mind as well, is your audience is software developers, CEOs, CTOs, founders, and these are, you know, customers that a lot of companies are trying to attract, and they're willing to pay big money. Whereas I think,
you mean for big money for
in terms of sponsorships, yes,
training?
Yeah,
okay, yeah,
yeah. I think the challenge a lot of other YouTubers fall into is,
it's like consumers.
If it's entertainment, or, you know, if it's more of a consumer audience, then, you know, consumer products have all sorts of, there's, you know, millions of influencers they could sponsor. Right. And that's where you get the emails like, hey, can we do an integration for $300? Which is, you know, a bit more tough. But you've got this like high value audience, which should mean eventually, I mean, we've got Levi in the chat here, but I'm assuming like a pretty good brand deal is like $5,000 per video, and it, you know, goes up to
I don't even
10,
know like what
15
what the rates are, you know.
So, and I mean,
but like then like the question is like, okay, if I'm opening my mind more to, like, don't just think of sponsorships as the side dish, but maybe that's the main dish. Then, like, if you think about it, like, it does offer in a way a lot of freedom on the creative side of the channel. Like number one, my job is just to create the most valuable, insightful content I could possibly produce. I would never think twice about holding back, because my best stuff is behind a paywall in a course. Like the goal in that case is just to be the best YouTuber talking about this topic, right?
Yeah.
And that should be my goal with every video that I create. Like if you want to win at YouTube, like that's sort of the mindset you sort of have to have, I think.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is just like topic selection, right? Like I don't have to always hammer Claude Code or whatever the hot topic is, or whatever thing I happen to sell a course on. I could just cover whatever topic I think is interesting, because I have an audience that should care about what I think is important. And it doesn't matter where we go with that, right?
Yeah.
As long as it stays within the realm of like building with AI, right?
Yeah.
So then I'm also thinking about like this idea of how, because I'm going to need to start to do this soon, which is like not just come up with a new banger video every single week, but I also have to have some like recurring formats. right? That are just easier to produce, but are still high value. So
Yeah.
the two that I want to get running soon are, one is going to be interviews, like talking to other people. Show me how you build. Show me how you work with AI. Let's pull some insights from that and put it up on the channel. And I need to think through like the format of, it's not just going to be like a straight like podcast interview. I want to cut it up and make it really high value for a YouTube audience, but like bring other people into the mix as like guests that I talk to, right?
Yeah.
And that could just be a recurring theme. I can just book out like a schedule of interviews, and that'll be like a stream of content that can be coming up in between my like insight videos, right?
Yeah.
And then the other one is like watch me build something, right? Like I have this whole list of product ideas that I want to build myself for my own use, or maybe to release as real software products. Like these should be YouTube videos, maybe even series, right? Like a single product might be a series of 3 to 5 videos of the whole life cycle of the build, right? And that could be like something that people will tune into to see the next episode because they want to see how it evolves, right?
Yeah. Just to pause, I think, I mean, I think this is worth exploring for sure. The challenge with sponsorships, I think, is kind of multifaceted. One, it can be difficult finding sponsors consistently, and you might get like one or two that I think Levi was the one telling me about this, but you know, he's had some that paid him really well, and it was like that was amazing, and then there's just like this dry period where it's like nobody's showing up.
Yeah.
And
what I'm doing now is like every time someone sends me an email, I just tag them in my email with like potential sponsor, so that like if and when I need to drum up sponsored business, I have a list of people who've inquired before.
Yeah, but my guess is a large portion of those are going to lowball you.
Low.
Yeah. It's also worth looking at what Jay Klaus has shared in the past, where he makes his revenue, and sponsorships is not. It's not insignificant. It's 15.6% of revenue. And memberships is his big one, 47%.
Yeah. See, I feel like Jay is more in line with what my main vision for Builder Methods is. It's like grow the audience somehow, and I think it's YouTube, and get them into a flagship program, and then plus some smaller programs like that. Jay has this membership with the lab, and then he has a couple of other paid courses that people can get into. You know?
I believe Colin and Samir do this as well. I think they have YouTube Starter School or Startup School or something. I'm not sure if that's the majority of their revenue, but
yeah.
I mean, sponsorships are interesting to me right now because increasingly I'm just seeing more and more companies invest their marketing dollars this way. We've talked about this on the show, which is like traditional like Google ads right now. That marketplace is so efficient that it's really hard to eke out any value on top. So you'll pay a really high cost per click and it's super competitive, and you're just lucky if you can make 10, 15% on top of that in terms of profit. And so I'm seeing founders like Jesse at Bento, he's sponsoring everything. He's sponsoring the Tailwind the Tailwind CSS homepage. He's sponsoring mostly technical podcasts. He's just trying to show up everywhere.
It does seem like the most value. It does seem that I could totally buy the argument that like sponsoring creators is going to be the marketing channel that's left after everything else becomes untenable.
Yeah. And it's an interesting one because one thing that Jay said in that interview was he's realized, I mean, this makes it more difficult too, but he's realized that every sponsorship deal he takes is an endorsement.
Yeah.
And
that is what's tough about it. Like you would have to like really use and believe in the product. And the product can't really conflict with like if the video is about Claude Code, I probably can't do a sponsorship that's like a competitor to Claude Code or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think the one version of this that's interesting to me is if you could get a big sponsor to just give you a retainer,
You get a lot of them.
and then it's like, we'll pay you $5,000 a month to make a video every month, as long as it's about Claude, we will.
I mean, I think that is sort of the future of a lot of marketing, especially for SaaS. Honestly, there's always going to be different channels that you can do and be successful with, but SEO is not going to be here forever. Ads have become really difficult and expensive for many years now. And honestly, like listening to these interviews with Colin and Samir, it does seem like this is nothing new, but it tracks, right? That like most companies can't just have a creator on staff to create themselves a YouTube channel with hundreds of thousands of subscribers. So their next resort is to go sponsor creators, right?
Yep.
I just think that is going to be an exploding marketing channel for most companies.
Yeah. And we saw this with, I think Wes Boss is just another incredible founder in this space, and he's been doing this a long time, and that's why early episodes were sponsored by FreshBooks, LogRocket, and clearly his high value audience of software developers and CTOs, people were willing to spend the money, and this worked so well that then they got purchased by Sentry. So now Syntax, Wes Boss's podcast, is basically just a giant sponsorship for Sentry.
Right.
And I'm assuming they're getting a lot of value out of it. They just see it as a good channel to have, Wes and I can't remember his co-host, chatting about it every week.
I follow him, but is he primarily sponsorships, or does he sells courses too, doesn't he?
Oh, this is, I just think, a small, for him, I think this is a small piece of his pie, because I think most of his money
courses, right?
Yeah, he's like he's got a course machine, so courses, you can often tell what's the most important bucket. We always talk about buckets here, like your most important revenue bucket by what you list first. So courses is first, Syntax is next. So I'm assuming the revenue goes in that order.
Like, I'm still thinking of like courses is probably still the way I would want to go, but like I am starting to like to open up my mind to it a little bit more, and also like it's still sort of an open question to me. Like, is there really a market to sell courses anymore, or is that gonna go away?
Yeah.
With AI, but also just in general, like people learn by doing. I would think more than ever, but.
I still think there's a lot of value. This is where Jay Klaus is going as well. A lot of value in community, in cultivating a community and having people pay to be a part of that. I'm even looking at Jim Hill has this this comment here on the live chat about making a course to deal with your emotions as a developer in relation, I think, to AI coding and stuff. And
it's funny. Like, really, the video I'm working on for next week is sort of in that vein.
Yes, but this is a great place to put community. So if generally what I am seeing, this is actually not, I don't think what Jim was talking about, but generally in the market, what I'm seeing is that there's a lot of developers very anxious about AI and coding. And they might be curious about it. They might be, interested in it, but they are worried about it. And those are the kinds of things I would want to express in a private community. Like, hey team, we're all here together and we don't want to get left behind. And we are also trying to, we have a job to do. We got to please our boss. We got to get these deliverables. My boss is saying I have to use this. And there's the practical side, which is how do I, like I was asking you the other day, for an existing Rails project, should I use Cursor or Claude? But then there's the emotional side, which is how are y'all feeling? Here's a place where I can go and express my frustration or my fears or my wins. And
so that's, I definitely agree with you. Like that would be the value for most paid courses or memberships or combo of both. It's like, yeah, of course you can get all this information for free on YouTube or just by reading the docs on Claude Code or whatever it is. Of course you could just go figure it out just like everyone else does. But the value of paying some amount is to learn alongside your peers, build stuff together, share notes, have join a community.
Yeah.
But like it does raise the question again, like what am I actually trying to build here, and how do I want to spend my time and resources as the founder of this? So just thinking like fundamental questions, like again, like sort of opening my mind to like if it's a sponsorship driven business model, then the only thing that matters on my schedule every single week is to build stuff so that I can teach it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Right. And create really good content. Like that's the only thing I ever really need to do. If it's a courses business, then in addition to creating good content to keep the top of the funnel going, then I would also need to create courses, which is very time consuming.
Yeah.
And if there's a community membership component, then I have to be active and be the community guy and offer some other exclusive value to the members. I don't know what that is. And like that piece, which I think is the most valuable thing, is probably the thing that I'm like, I'm just not really cut out like you are, and like other people do a really good job with that. Like I like to participate in communities, but I'm not a big like rah like lead the community kind of person,
Yeah. My inclination, I could be wrong, but my inclination is that it's probably difficult to create a business that's just based on sponsorships, because of all the variables we described, and also just the risks. That market can fall out underneath you. The stock market goes down and everybody, we saw this when everybody was cutting their developer relations budgets. All these DevRel people who had been hired to be exclusive YouTube creators for all these software companies got fired in large numbers. Like it was for a while there, just every company seemed to be getting rid of their DevRel team.
I agree with you. I do think that like at the end of the day, like a mix between, because that's my current assumption is like I will be doing sponsorships at some point, but it won't be the main thing, and I will be doing courses, but it's just an open question for like how. I also think that there's risk in courses too.
Yeah.
But I think that like it's probably a combination of both.
Yeah, and we can see, if we look at it can be helpful to look at the template that other people are using. And so Colin and Samir have Creator Startup. Jay Klaus has Creator Science. Wes Boss has all of his courses. Aaron Francis has his courses. It feels like it always has to be a both and. It's like we do the sponsorships, and that's not to say maybe you shouldn't just focus on sponsorships right now while the market's hot, because the market is hot right now. And so maybe for the next 6 months, it's just like all I'm focusing on is getting that sponsorship revenue while it's, the window's here, while the window is open.
Yeah, part of me is like, I haven't taken any yet. My thinking is like, I still want to grow the channel first and just focus on like, I'm still experimenting with every new video. It's an experiment to see like what is really hitting. How can I figure out the formula for producing really good content? How do I have more bangers than flops on a more consistent basis, right? Like I'm still figuring all that out. I do want to get to revenue as soon as possible. I think I got the domain. There's nothing there yet, but I got claudecodecourse.com. That was available. But yeah, Agent OS is a legit product, but it is free and it's open source. And I'm pretty excited about it because I think this will be I'm going to be using it heavily, but it is the basis for a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be sharing.
So maybe tell us about, actually, first, before we go to Agent OS, I just want to say
we can flip back to you, whatever.
No, this is fine. I think let's end on Agent OS. But With regards to community, I think there are ways you could do it in, like, you are really good at process and even thinking about what you did with productized services in the past. I think you could either hire somebody to be a community moderator, or, you know, in Mega Maker, the community I've run forever, we've just had volunteer moderators. And
Yeah.
I think paying somebody to do it is probably best, but you could, if there was enough there, you could just have somebody who's, it's like, Brian is doing this stuff. He's making YouTube videos. He's doing it, but you know, Janet is, her whole job is just to be onboarding people into the community, helping them, craft conversations and hosting calls and things like that. Like, there is a world where you could do that if there was enough demand.
That's the thing. Like, I the hardest thing, of course, about a community is like the starting point, like getting the very first members and keeping them engaged and really have that like the launch pad for it. I think there's probably two models that come to mind. Like you talk about, like if it's more of a evergreen, like you're participating in this thing all year long, maybe multiple years.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably a lower price point, like and it's a higher volume game, right? And that's one way to go, especially if the audience can grow to high numbers. Then you can have, and I see a lot of YouTubers in my space doing this. Like, their main thing is like a $50 a quarter or $50 a month, like just access to a private whatever Discord, whatever it is. And like, that's one way to do it. But I don't. Maybe there's enough maybe eventually there would be enough volume to do something like that. But then the other thought that I had was, like, maybe the flagship product becomes a timed cohort based thing that I only do like 2 or 3 times a year, and it's like, and it's basically a pop-up community for like
I like that
4
idea.
4 6 weeks. We have a tight knit community, and then after that, like, maybe you can stay in touch, but like, the obligation is over. The event already happened, you know. And like, and with the cohort based thing, like, that would be a higher price point. So like, you know, that could be like a significant product, and part of the value is sort of the urgency. Like, it's only happening now until we do it again 6 months from now, you know?
I think those are really good ideas. I like the idea of pop-up cohort-based community, because then it's like, you're not promising people this is going to be around forever. And it, you know, it can have, is a benefit to being like, we're this little group, and if you guys want to keep this going afterwards in your own group, like, we can keep this whatever WhatsApp group open, but in the meantime, we're going to be kind of going through this program together. And when it's done, I'm out. I'm gonna go back to not being here. But I could see, because there is a lot of value in being the organizer. Like, not everybody can attract an audience. Not everybody can kind of seed something like that. And
like, I definitely enjoy it, and I love interacting with people in my audience and customers of my products. I love that. But I have done it a few times. Like, I did it with the productized course, and I've tried to do it with other products. And for me, it has always fizzled out pretty quickly, because I just didn't have the volume. I didn't have the number of people where there's just enough engagement. And then B, like, I got disengaged, and then it just fizzled out, you know? And that's always my fear with anything membership community based. So
all right, let's talk about Agent OS, buildermethods.com/agent-os. What is this?
Okay, so I'm still trying to dial in like the elevator pitch for it, but it is a system, an operating system that you can give to your coding agents, no matter which tools you use, whether you use Cloud Code or Cursor, or I don't know if Windsurf is even still a thing anymore, but like, you know, any of them. So it's essentially a set of instructions and commands. So these can be cursor rules, they can be Claude.md memories, but there is a system where essentially it's giving your agents even more context than they would normally have. So like currently or up until now, most people just kind of write a really like just write prompt after prompt after prompt to try to get it to build this next idea or build this next feature. And then they're going in circles. It doesn't build the right thing. It builds it in the wrong way. You got to go back and fix things. It didn't build things the way you would build it. Claude Code might be very capable, but it still doesn't have your style or your thinking in on it. So this really provides like three things, right? Like the main goals of it, and you can see this on the page that I set up for like why would you want to use Agent OS. The first one is it has like complete context, not just the prompts, right? So at a base level, you're setting up your standards. You're going to have a folder on your system that has your coding style, your coding best practices, and your go-to tech stack. So like for me, I'll have a tech stack file that it's like Rails, Stimulus, Tailwind. I like to use import maps. I like to use Google fonts. I like to use Lucide icons. Like I always deploy this way. I always use that hosting provider. Like my go-to stack, right? And then I've got
this sounds like it'd be good even just for improving the way you onboard new developers.
Absolutely. That and I'm glad you said that because like this is the whole idea is like to actually treat your coding agent like it's a new team member that you're onboarding into your company.
Yeah.
Right. So you're not just prompting it, you're giving it like the context of like, this is how we build here. Like you just joined my company. So I have certain opinions on how, like for example, another file in my standards folder is best practices, like coding best practices, right? Like for me, I tend to prioritize coding, writing code that is highly maintainable over performance. Like, yes, we want it to be performant, but it has to be easy to read, easy to maintain, easy to iterate on. Right? And then I also have like very strong opinions on like formatting. I have some weird opinions on like how I format Tailwind CSS classes and how I do indenting and how I do this and that. Like I have examples in this file for like when you write code, I want it to look like this, right?
And is that all on the GitHub, like in the GitHub repo here?
Yes, but there's some sort of like generic standards that part of the thing here is like you need to set your own personal standards. I give you a template, but that's sort of like step one is you set your standards, right? And then step two is the product level, right? Or the right. So like then Agent OS has the instructions built in so that when you are either planning out a new product or you're plugging it into your existing product, it's going to create a folder inside your project called product. And inside that, it's got the mission statement, it's got your roadmap, it's got your tech stack for this product, for this code base, and it has a log of all the decisions that have been made for this product. So we're not yet getting into building features. We're just setting up all this context.
Yeah.
Like who is this product for? What's the problem that it solves? Who's the target customer?
Dude, I want to do all of this just for even if I'm not doing, and to have a template for this is so helpful.
So the product folder in your, like, you have the mission MD. It's got again like the jobs to be done, the target customer, the mission, the goal for the business, and then the roadmap. It is a checklist, but it's not like actual tasks yet. It's just your product roadmap, like high level, maybe like 8 big features that we plan to build over the next couple of weeks. Okay, so we have our standards, like this is how we do things here.
Yeah.
Then we have our product. This is the story of why this product exists and what we're building here.
Yeah.
And then the third level is the specs, right? And this is where I get into like spec-driven development, where it's like every new feature that you build or every improvement that you're making to your project, you're going to have a spec. Well, there's a specs folder, and inside that you'll have a folder for like, okay, we're gonna build the user authentication now, right? So inside that folder, which has a date on it, then you have sort of like a PRD, like a spec document. Like here's the goal of the feature, here's the job to be done, here are the, and then you have API specs and database schema and technical requirements. All of these are like individual MD files inside each individual task, and then of course you have like tasks.md just for that feature. So we're building user auth. We're gonna have a tasks file with a checklist, maybe like 3 big pieces and then like 6 sub pieces under that.
Yeah.
These are and then like that is what the agent is going to work on, right? So when it works on it, it's going to be able to reference back to your standards, how we build things here. It's going to reference back to your product, what it is that we're building here, and it's going to give you the checklist that like we've seen this pattern come up now where like agents need to follow a checklist, and it starts with like writing a test, then building it, then making sure the test passed, then
Yeah. I just want to pause you here to say this is like awesome. Like this has that feel of it instantly kind of ignites a spark in me because I start imagining myself using it or implementing it. I think you're really onto something here. And Zach was saying this in the chat as well.
I think so too. Like I've been using it, like testing it out on my own work. What's also really cool about this is that it really gets us away from writing extensive prompts.
Yeah.
Because right now, like without this, I would have to write like an extremely detailed prompt to like over explain, like, here's how I want you to build this thing. And here's sort of the backstory on why you need to do this. And let me point you to this and that file. So, but now with this installed, all I literally need to do, like literally all I need to do is type in like, what's next, right? And then it will automatically go to my roadmap and say like, all right, well, next on your roadmap was to build the emailing feature. Should I go ahead and plan a spec for that? And I'm like, yes, go. And then it goes ahead and writes the whole, like it writes out the whole user stories and the task list. And then what I need to do is I just need to spend the time to review and correct the plan before it gets to work.
Yeah.
Like that's what we as developers need to start to shift into. Like we are now specs creators, but really the AI writes it for us to review. We dial it in, and then when it's good, we say go. And,
yes.
And like that's how you get to a point where AI is like building not only what you want it to build, it's like building the way that you would build it because it has all of your ways built into it,
Yeah.
That like it's like because like it's still a lot of work today to write these extensive prompts, and this just removes that from the picture altogether, and really the work now becomes like, go ahead and plan it for me, and now let me correct you, and now I approve you to go ahead, and that's it.
Yeah, you painted the picture really well there. What's your, like, does this need to be free? There's some people in chat saying, crazy that you're not charging for this. This seems to be like, even in chat, the reactions in chat are people are resonating with it. So what does it need to be free? What's the game plan in terms of like,
I don't know. Like, I don't know. My thought is like, at first I was like, I don't know, maybe this is a product. I built it like it's a real product. It even has these installer scripts. So it's like a one-liner. You just paste it into terminal and it'll put these instruction files on your system where they need to go. So that's pretty cool.
I mean,
but
yeah, I mean, I'm kind of conflicted because it's like,
like my thought, the reason why I made it free is there's already a lot of people recommending and providing like template, like cursor files. A lot of them are just like, if you use a React stack, then here's a cursor file to do that, or here's a long list of all these different cursor rules that you might want to fit into your project. But to me, all of those are just like, they're not really a system. They're just like a lot of words to throw onto your project that may or may not help. This is more like tailored to you, and you need to shape it to how you want your agents to work for you, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, the benefit of it being free is it is very awesome. It provides a lot of value. If you get a lot of people using it and starring it and sharing it, and you know, that usage could translate into something paid on top. Like,
that's my thought. Like and then I was also thinking like, all right, well, maybe it'll be free, but maybe behind an email wall. Like maybe I can turn this into an email lead magnet. I gotta,
mhm.
you know, so, but even that too felt a little bit clunky. So I was just like, well, if I'm just gonna put it up on GitHub, let me just make it totally free. I ended up putting the docs on the Builder Methods website.
Yeah.
So at least if you want to get into the docs, you're going to be you're going to be traffic on my website, and then hopefully from there, you know, that will get you into my orbit somehow.
Is this ready to go right now? Can people try this already?
Yeah, it's all there. The only thing that's missing is the video. I haven't posted the video yet, but the those scripts, right? Like installation, like you could install it right now. Yeah.
Do I have to install this in a specific like project folder, or this is just universal?
Universal. You copy that, you drop it into terminal. That's it.
Dude, this is really cool. I think this, yeah, and I mean, it's the age-old problem. You're hoping for a lot of people to use it, and then for free, and then to, you know, offer something on top. You know, there's ideas.
And this is totally new for me. I have never, believe it or not, I've never really released an open source product.
Yeah.
Like my personal GitHub is blank. Like I don't have any plugins or anything like for free. Like I've just never done that. So I don't know what I'm doing here, but.
Well, I mean, I think the first thing is everyone needs to go. The link for this will be in the show notes. Go and star this on GitHub. I think stars is one way of getting some traction on GitHub. Oh, we got 4 already. And start using it.
When people start posting like GitHub issues or PRs, like I don't know what to do about that. This is a whole game that I'm like, I don't know like how to manage an open source project. So we'll see how this goes.
I mean, what I like about this is, especially if people share it. So
like that, my hope for it, this might be a total flop. Maybe it's too much but like my hope is that it's something that people talk about and refer to.
Yeah.
And either to point to the website or hopefully soon to point to the YouTube video that I'm going to do about it, which I'll publish next week.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, I mean, obviously the way you present it is pretty important. And I think one challenge with this is these first lines on your landing page right now, they're good, but the magic, I started to feel the magic and the spark when you got more into the details. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I would use this just to improve, you know, our onboarding for developers, or just for improving the way we work as a team already. Like that's already solving a problem. And then this has this added bonus of now we can figure out our AI driven development stuff. Yeah. So however you present this,
those docs, I've gone through so many iterations on them already. Like, just that section there, like I went through like multiple iterations with the help of Claude helping me write stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is great. And I think it will lend itself to, I'm hoping, and maybe you can even engineer this a little bit, to the kind of sharing, this tweet from Adam Wathan, bullish on Zed, feels like I'm using Sublime Text again, but with all the modern niceties that originally pulled me over to VS Code and Cursor. And then so people sharing stuff like this, it feels like Agent OS could have this kind of momentum. Like people are just like, dude, I found this thing that really works for me now in this context, in this AI driven world. Like this is what everyone should be using.
I hope so. And like also I think an argument for why it's free is it's intended to be your system for either you personally or for your organization. Adapt it like it's meant to be adapted.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like there's these tools like Taskmaster, and even this new one that just came out, the Amazon owned, is it Kiri?
Oh, Kiro or something?
Kiro, like that's another VS Code fork. Like there's a lot of these tooling out there that have something like this sort of with like specs built into the process.
Mm-hmm.
But all of that stuff is like super rigid. Like you have to follow their specific interface for how it works, and it's not like a system that you can really shape to your methodologies and your opinions on code and all these different things. And like so this is designed to be, it's just a set of markdown files. You can use it with Claude Code, you can use it with Cursor, you can use it with Kiro, you can use it with any of them. And you can, and it's not intent, like the instructions that are built into it, I think are good to go, but those are open source too. So if you want it to execute tasks slightly differently from how I designed it, you can go in and tweak the instructions,
Yeah. And so somebody mentioned Taskmaster and that they have some sort of business model with this, but what is their business? Do you know their business model?
I don't really know. I've played with it, but I think that they're planning to build some upcoming product.
Okay.
I don't know what it is.
I'm
I'm definitely not trying to build a code editor, that's for sure.
Yeah. Cool, dude. Well, I think this is great. And this is one of the nice things about doing the show live is that we get to see everyone's reaction to it. So
yeah, and I think it'll be a really useful thing, but also for me as a teacher and as a trainer and as a coach, like a lot of that content is going to point people to like, all right, well, my advice is to use something like Agent OS,
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Well, if anyone has ideas out there on what Brian should be doing with this next and how he should be managing it as an open source project, let us know. I think this is good for this week.
Man.
We covered a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. What do you got going on over the weekend and into next week? What are you looking forward to?
What is going on this weekend? Got a friend's birthday. I'm getting ready to go on this trip to go pick up my son so he's been at college. He's coming home from basically living in that city. And then we're going to get him ready to go move to Toronto. So that's going to be a big trip.
Moving out.
Yeah.
Nice.
What about you? You doing anything fun?
The kids are going to spend the weekend at Grandpa's house, and we'll have a date night probably. Maybe go see that F1 movie. I haven't seen that yet.
Oh yeah. I want to see that new Superman movie.
Yeah, I've heard mixed reviews on it.
I've heard mixed reviews too.
I'm not a big superhero guy, but I know that one seems to be.
Well, and I'm not a big Superman person, but I really liked Guardians of the Galaxy. So, and it's the same guy, right? So, yeah, I want to check it out.
So, yeah, but I've heard really good things about this F1 movie. I'm not an F1 fan, but I heard it's the kind of movie that you want to see in the theater. So
okay. Well, maybe I need to see 2 movies this weekend.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
All right, folks. Later.
We will see you later. Perfect. Thanks, everyone in chat. Great to see y'all. Oh, Zach says the F1 is good.
Sweet.
Nice. All right, gonna stop that.